Happy Monday and welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel. Today is Monday the 14th of November and as always let's kick this week off the right way and by having a little chat about what's coming up this week, what perhaps happened last week, and just generally to get you in the mood to really go after today, because I know that a lot of people don't like Monday. And I'm here to sort of prove to you it's not Monday's fault, it's what you are doing on the Monday, which is the problem. So, last week I'll do a quick rundown of like my week. It was standard week, didn't really go anywhere interesting. It was a week of just working on the business. We were working on a few software ideas and the day-to-day running of the business. I was a little bit more hands-on in this week because that's what I was there to do. Also planning an event which we'll be involved with in January down in London, which was very interesting, doing some work with said company about that, which is good. It's interesting. It's nice to get out and actually be able to talk to people face to face about the stuff that I do. It was a good week. I also had a fantastic catch up with a few friends of mine, John and Justin, on Wednesday night. Those guys, very entrepreneurial guys. It's just great to be around fellow entrepreneurs who are doing really interesting things, and I also find that they ask me the questions about why I've done certain things, and that just makes me get thinking, and then I ask them what would they have done, and it's just great to be around fellow people who think like me, and they're both older than me. They've both seen and done things before I have done them, so they are great for me to try and ask questions to and learn from, and hopefully I can help them out too wherever possible. But it was a great time on Wednesday, and looking forward to catching up with those guys again. Now, perhaps a big thing that happened last week, which we can't really avoid talking about, is the presidential election in America. And I know I did a dedicated video on reacting to change, specifically around the election. If you haven't seen it, I'll put the link. There'll be a little button on this side, I think, where you can go and see that. But it's one of those. Facebook and Twitter and everything else blew up on Wednesday. Purely, the hashtag RIP America was going around, and it's like, really, guys, do you think you may be blowing this out of proportion just a little bit? I don't think America's going to go anywhere. If anything, it proves that democracy is working. The fact that Donald Trump got elected, and there's this whole thing about he didn't get the popular vote, he just won the electoral college voting system. Well, the same people that's just an argument because your candidate lost. Really, you wouldn't be arguing that if it was the other way around. You see, it's just the way that system works, and that is unfortunate. It's like the first past the post system here in the UK. It's horrendously disproportionate. But until someone comes along and changes it, which they never will, because if they got into power under the first past the post system, it works for them. So they're not going to change it. It's unfortunately, I don't see a way how we're ever going to get out of that system. It's one of those. It's now 5 days later. The world hasn't ended. Nobody's gone to war with anybody, and life has pretty much carried on as it has. And that is generally how this thing happened. I remember when Barack Obama came into power, and there was like uproar because he's like the first black president, and people say, no, I'll give him like a month before he's assassinated. The guy did 8 years, and I'm not American, I can't comment on some of his policies and the things that he's done for America. I understand he's done a few things which have polarised opinion, as all leaders do. You're never going to please all the people all the time. But from an outside looking in, comparing Obama to like George Bush, for example, Obama looks like Stephen Hawking in comparison. He's so articulate, he's so calm. He's the type of person where if everything was going to shit, you'd want him stood next to you going, hey, it's going to be okay. And, he has that sort of influence. And I think as a world leader, that is perhaps what we'll miss in in Obama. I liked him. I thought he did a great job. And like I said, compared to the Bush administration, again, he did 8 years. You know, people were voting for him, ignoring the whole Al Gore situation. But again, unfortunately, in politics these days, half of the population tends to be disappointed because, you know, their guy didn't win or their girl didn't win. And it's exactly the same here with Brexit and Remain. Who knows what's even going on with that right now? That's having to go into parliamentary, you know, questions and Supreme Court, blah blah blah. It's a shame because it shows the division of the nations. Here in the UK, half wanted to leave, half wanted to stay, and leave just pipped it in the vote, and that means that half the people now are disappointed and angry and feel betrayed by the leave guys. And it's the same in America. Half of them wanted Donald Trump and half wanted Hillary, and again, half of the population is going to be upset or annoyed or feeling let down. At the end of the day, your job as an entrepreneur is just to do what suits you best. And as I said in that other video, react to change. If you can't change the outcome, you can only change what you have the power to change. So that's how you react to the news, to anything that they do, any policies that they bring in. Because ultimately the guys who win are the guys who react first and don't sit there moping and complaining. I see it all the time. I see it as soon as eBay or Amazon bring out a policy change. The businesses that succeed and, you know, do so well are the guys that go, right, okay, let's have a look at what this policy means. Right, we can't do that, but we can do this. Right, that's what we're going to go and do. The guys who sit there messaging on forums about how it's not fair and how eBay screwed them over and how eBay and Amazon are, you know, terrible businesses, they're going to lose in the long term because they're not adjusting, they're not reacting, they're just sat there wasting away in this time that they could be using to better their business and find solutions. They're just complaining, and complaining doesn't achieve anything. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you complain to Virgin or British Airways, they might give you a gift voucher. But generally, what's the point? Never complain, never explain. There's some basic rules for life right there. You assess what's going on and you move on and carry on the best you can. And it's pretty much the same with Mondays. Some people really don't like Mondays. What is the point in complaining about it? You know it comes around every week. You know that the jobs that you have to do on that Monday will probably be very similar. If not, then great. A bit of variety in the Monday. But you know it's coming. So why complain about it? Prepare for it. Be better than you were last week. It's just the same. Again, Mondays don't suck. It's the process of being in the right frame of mind in order to deal with whatever comes up. And I think that's where a lot of people let themselves down. And obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneurial kind of person. You're not like that. You know, I'm probably preaching to the converted. You already adapt and react, very quickly to change, and that is what you have to do in order to win. But again, Twitter and Facebook and all the social media sites that I've seen are full of people who just sit there complaining and moping that, Hillary should have won, or we should have voted to stay. Guess what? You might have done your bit, you went and voted. Your guy or girl didn't win. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and moan about it? No. You're going to crack on, move on. Because you'd be surprised with how little, the president or the prime minister or whatever has an effect on your day-to-day life. You can do pretty much a lot of things without having to worry about whether Donald Trump gives a damn about what you're doing, or whether, Theresa May or David Cameron or whoever it may have been cares what you're doing. You have a lot of freedom to go and build your business, to go and work on projects that excite you and will make you, better and help you succeed. So, reacting to change is incredibly important, and don't get bogged down with the complainers and the naysayers, because that negative energy is not good for your frame of mind. It's not conducive to getting things done and being productive. I think that's probably the message for this Monday, is whilst everyone else around you might be losing their head a little and be all doom and gloom about the state of the world, trust me, the world has been through a lot worse. A lot worse than it is right now. So just be a little bit thankful and just carry on doing what you're doing, working towards your goals, your dreams, because ultimately nothing's changed. The day-to-day of your life hasn't changed. Everything's the same. If I go back like 2 weeks, nothing's changed for me. Nothing, go back 6 months since the referendum happened. I know we've not set off Article 50 yet, whatever that means, but nothing changed. Nothing changed, and it probably won't change. So I hope that's given you some hope or a little bit of motivational thinking for this Monday. And yeah, just go after it, and don't get bogged down by people who are negative minded and complaining and all that sort of stuff. It's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. So enjoy the rest of your Monday. Go after it. Go and get done whatever it is that you need to get done today, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you think about the election result last week. Was it good? Was it bad? Or do you really not care? Are you just going to crack on doing what you're doing? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.